Darren Levine here with a look at the Kipon EF to M43 AF adapter. I was very excited about this when it was announced earlier this year because it's the first adapter that's supposed to allow you to autofocus your Canon lenses on your GH4 or other micro four thirds body. And this is going to be a pretty short review because I have a complete lemon on my hands. It's very disappointing. I wanted to take this on a long trip overseas, and I've been trying to get in touch with the manufacturer numerous times, and there's just been nothing, no communication. A little bit of backstory. I ordered this even after the date it was supposed to come out. I think it was June 10th. Kipon made a big announcement. They showed a video, or somebody showed a video of it working great. That date that was supposed to come out came and went, nothing. Finally it popped up on eBay. Kipon doesn't have any actual store, and the only retailer of it in the States is Adorama, and I've been checking their site almost daily, and it's listed, but it's been on back order the entire time. It's now July 7th today. So I ordered on eBay, which is from China, which is of course a risk, and it turns out that, yep, I got screwed because I have a complete lemon, and the seller, I'm hoping I'll get my return shipping fee back, but the seller is playing either dumb or really just doesn't understand simple English, or they don't know what Google Translate is. So unfortunately, putting this on the camera, which I've read the very basic instructions several times, and this is a very common lens. This is the 24 to 105 L lens, so not a cheap lens by any means, and just doesn't work. It gives a red box showing that it can't autofocus, and then when I try and change the aperture, worse things happen. At the very least, or the very simplest, if I change it, the camera shows the aperture change, the lens doesn't change anything. It's just not responsive at all. On some other lenses, I've tried I think 4 or 5 different lenses on it, all have varying degrees of failure. The worst of which is if I try and change the aperture, you'll hear it inside flickering up and down, so it doesn't sound very good for the lens either. In this lens's case, the only thing that appears to work is the stabilizer. And yeah, that's just not exactly very useful. I can't focus at all in the autofocus, so it's completely useless for what it's supposed to be built for. And honestly, I understand lemons happen in the industry, and I've overall heard good things about Kipon, although I know that they have more dumb adapters than smart adapters. Dumb adapters being that don't have any electronics. It's much more basic and simple. It's just a piece of metal, so there's not much to mess up there in terms of functionality. So with this, I understand lemons happen. Bird, please don't ruin the review. But in this case, they have no US retailer that had it in stock. I've tried contacting them. I've sent them 3 or 4 emails now, and the oldest one dating back a couple weeks, and they have not responded at all. I've even tried tweeting them, and they haven't responded back. So interestingly, there's also a micro USB port on the side, so supposedly it could do firmware upgrades to hopefully fix it or improve it. But the thing is since they haven't made a whole lot of electronic adapters, I can't find any reference to them ever making a firmware upgrade for any of their products that actually have electronic contacts. I ran a Google search and a search just for the word firmware on their own site. Nothing, nada. So I really can't plan on that either. And apparently I'm not the only one having issues with this adapter. There's another site, I think it's called High Speed Camera. I'll put a little link up or something. They also have issues, although at least they're getting some function out of theirs. And then on the personal view forums, I've seen some other fellow who's also having issues and not very happy. So there's obviously something going on with this adapter. It seems like it's not even supported by the manufacturer at all. If you look on their site, again, this is months after the actual supposed official release, they don't even list it on their own site. And this is supposed to be, they made a big press release, and this was a big deal for them because they were first to market with this type of device. So something fishy is going on, and I'm obviously not pleased because I got to send this back to China. I'm probably out my return shipping, which I knew was a risk I was going to take. So yeah, got the lemon, and doesn't work at all. So that is really all I can say. I was really hoping to get a replacement one pretty quickly and get a proper review of a working unit, but I had to wholeheartedly recommend against buying this at all because there is no support from the manufacturer. There are other cases of people having issues with it. I seem to have the worst because I have almost zero functionality out of it. So I really don't have any hope for it, and I'm not going to even bother trying to get a replacement just because a manufacturer that can't even respond to emails, Sorry, I can't get behind that. So, unfortunately, this is a failure of a product. This is the Kipon EF to M43 AF, not so AF, lens adapter. Darren Levine, take care.